I was always a fucking tapestry of other people's personalities and opinions. I always was. I couldn't help it. When I was younger, I didn't know my father, and the result of that was that whenever I saw a sort of adult male, I would go, oh, okay, he seems to be interesting. Other people are engaging with him. Other people find him interesting. So I'll just take a little bit of that personality. This is all happening unconsciously, but it was happening all the time. So it became a really unsettling mishmash of other people by the time I was a teenager. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because I suppose I've been thinking a lot recently about parenting because I'm a father. And something that keeps bouncing around my head at the moment is I need to father myself, which is weird, is a strange thing for a 32-year-old man to say. But I do. I never received any proper fathering, any real dadding. You know what I mean? And so perhaps the time is now for me to do it myself. And why does it matter? It matters because I've got such crap, lazy habits sometimes. And I'm very conscious of them now. But there are things that I wouldn't accept from my son if my son, wasn't 3 years old, bless him. If my son was older, I wouldn't accept him being lazy and slovenly and rude. And so if I'm being a father to him in that sense and setting that sort of standard, then why am I not living up to that myself? Which is an interesting question. So I suppose what I'm thinking is I need to parent myself. Maybe you need to parent yourself. And it's not that we didn't receive good parenting. I mean, my mum's a very good mum, but I never learned how to be a man. I never learned how to be disciplined. I never learned the skills that I now need to prepare my own son for adulthood and manhood one day, to prepare him for the world. I had to learn how to do everything I know how to do now the hard way and the long way, which has its benefits. But I suppose maybe it's worth every man considering the question of whether or not he needs to parent himself, needs to refather himself. Is it good enough, for example, that my fiance doesn't trust me to do the washing, the clothes, because she thinks I'll make a mess of it, I won't do it properly, it won't smell right, I won't be able to hang it up properly because I've made a piss poor effort of doing it before. Is that good enough? No, not really. I should have. So the step I'm taking to remedy that is to say, show me exactly how you like to do it, and I will do it the way you want to do. I've become... I've got habits where sometimes I'll just throw my clothes on the floor because I'm distracted because I'm thinking about this podcast or, just normal everyday habits. But is that good enough? No. If I was a kid and I had a good father around, my father would say, pick that up. What, you're expecting your mother to pick it up for you? And that's absolutely correct. So I need that voice in my own head sometimes. I need to re-father myself. We live in a scary time, I think, as human beings in a civilization, but also as men, because the suicide rate is astonishingly high at the moment. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because in my own hometown, there's been some very tragic cases recently. So what is happening? Why are we feeling like this? Why are men feeling so, I don't know, isolated, desolate? Is it because on one hand, the sort of internet alphas are telling you that you're not masculine enough, that you need to be able to fight, that you need to be able to fuck all these girls, and you need to, there's that one extreme. And another side saying, you need to totally embrace your feminine side and be more gentle and parent gentle, and everything needs to be very... There's two... Surely the truth is somewhere in the middle, but whatever you're doing currently, or whatever lifestyle you've adopted as a man, or however you're living your life, for a lot of people is unacceptable in a way, it seems. I don't know. That's how it seems to me on the internet. I always come away from Instagram or TikTok or something, which I shouldn't be on anyway. Those things are poison for the brain. But I come away from those apps just feeling like a fat bag of shit. I always just feel like, fuck. But everyone, we all feel like that. But it's like we're addicted to the pain of it. This is not new territory. I'm just sort of thinking out loud. For the longest time, I always thought, it must be difficult to be a young girl in school now, because it always was, with beauty standards and fashion standards and that sort of thing. And I didn't expect. I thought the internet would be harshest on young girls and young women, and it is. But I mean, believe me, I wouldn't want to constantly be. I wouldn't want to be a normal young girl or a young woman growing up in a world where there's a million Kardashian clones making you feel shit about the size of your ass, or the stuff that you own, or your makeup, or that sort of thing. But the exact same thing's happening for men. None of us look like Chris Hemsworth. He's a beautiful human being. None of us look like The Rock. None of us, we're being told all the time, if you want to achieve something, if you want to look a certain way, then you got to get to beast mode. You got to get up at 4 a.m. You got to do it, and you got to be working 16 hours a day. Well, great, but I need to also, be there and support my family at the same time. So I don't know but I'm not saying it's right or wrong either, because I have to get up early to go to the gym because I start work early, and so I'm not criticizing that lifestyle at all. I'm just saying that there's no one size fits all model, and it's very confusing. I feel very confused as a man myself. So who should we look up to? Who should we look up to? And I've discussed this recently on the podcast, and the conclusion I came to is look up to you. Be someone that you can look up to, however that looks. If it means that you want to be someone who reads more, or walks more, or commits a little bit better to their job or their relationship, look up to that person and become that person. I totally think you can do it. We need to stick together as men in this current mental health climate. Apparently, it's fucking awful. So that's all I want to say. I just want to get across that maybe if you're a man and you're listening to this, is it worth contemplating the question, do I need to re-father myself? Is it worth contemplating the question, do I need to re-father myself, re-parent myself? And I mean, talking to yourself like you were your own father. It's much easier for me because I am a father, so that voice is in my head. I can tap into dad mode pretty quickly, and it's actually been very, very useful. If you're listening to this, then do me a favor and click the follow and subscribe and stuff, because we've finally got this garage studio up and running. I'm very proud of it. We've got a lot of work to do still, but it's slowly getting there. One day this will be one of the biggest podcasts in the world, and it'll be amazing to have you along for the journey. So thank you for listening. I'm Steve Calis. I love you very dearly, and I'll see you next time. Au revoir.
Hiya, you're right. Hi, everyone.